What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing my first picks of 2022. I'm doing my picks for the Busch Light Clash at the LA Coliseum. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This weekend, we're headed out of sunny Los Angeles, California. We'll be in the 70s and 80s on a quarter-mile track that will take place on Sunday afternoon to kick off the season, an exhibition event on a quarter-mile track. Coming into this weekend, there's a lot of things to know about this weekend. Of course, like I mentioned, we're going to be on a quarter-mile track to kick off the season, and of course, there will be heat races to determine who gets into the field. We will have 36 cars that are entered for this weekend for this year's clash, much different to past clash events, and 23 of these cars will qualify in. The only driver that is currently locked into the Busch Light Clash this weekend, of course, is Kyle Larson, who is the Cup Series champion. He's the only driver that is locked into this weekend. Of course, heat races, there will be some last chance qualifiers to get into the events, and then, of course, the main that will take place on Sunday night. Now, weather, like I mentioned, is going to be really, really good. It's going to be in the 70s, 80s compared to the rest of the country. The weather is going to look very, very good. So, let's go ahead and jump into the picks. And for those of you who are new to the channel, who have never seen the picks on my channel, my picks are very similar to the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. I do a suck pick, I do an underdog pick, and a winner's pick. The suck pick, of course, someone who I think is going to struggle, but that guy will also make the main event. I do an underdog pick, and I've got two actually this week. The underdogs who I think are not always in front, who I think are going to do very, very well. And then I pick my winner, and then I do my ones you need to keep an eye on. And I've got four you need to watch out for this weekend. So let's jump into the picks. Who is going to be my suck pick for this weekend's Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum? Now, this driver I think is going to make it into the main event. However, I think he's barely going to make it into the event, and unfortunately, I think he's going to end up struggling throughout the main. I think he's going to end up finishing in the back of the field. My suck pick, unfortunately, is going to be Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez has been hit or miss at short tracks throughout his career. He's had a couple really strong runs on short tracks like Martinsville, Richmond, but unfortunately, Daniel Suarez throughout his career, especially last year, he absolutely struggled on short tracks. Now, like I mentioned, I think that Daniel Suarez is actually going to make it into the main. I think he's actually going to make it into the show, but unfortunately, I do not think that Daniel Suarez is going to win or even be able to contend for the victory. I think Daniel Suarez makes it in the show, but unfortunately, I think he's going to struggle this weekend, and I think he's going to finish in the back of the field. And now let's jump into the two underdog picks. Who are my underdog picks for this weekend at the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum? The first driver I'm picking, this guy has been historically really, really good at short tracks. He tends to run really, really fast. He's only seems to be better at super speedways, but this guy tends to be really good at tracks like Martinsville and also Bristol as well. My first underdog pick is going to be Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace, like I mentioned, is really, really good at short tracks, and I think he will actually be able to make it into the show very, very easily. On top of that, I think the Bubba Wallace is going to have a lot of speed in that 23 car, especially with Kirk Bush coming along. I think that he is going to show a lot more pace. Plus, I think that Bubba Wallace will be pretty good this weekend. I know that he'll be a little bit of disadvantage because he has not been able to test the car as much as other drivers, but I don't think testing is going to matter as much as other races. So I think that Bubba will be able to make it into the show, and I think he'll contend for a top 10 this weekend in the Busch Light Clash. My other underdog pick, this guy has moved to another organization, but also like Bubba, he is another driver that's very, very good at short tracks. Has one race at Martinsville and has one race at Bristol and among other racetracks. My other underdog pick is Brad Keselowski in the 6 car. Brad Keselowski, like I mentioned, is moving to a new team, RFK Racing. I expect that Brad is going to be very strong and very underrated throughout this entire season, and I think he's going to show a lot of pace this weekend, and I think he'll be very, very fast, and he'll be one to keep your eyes out on in this year's Busch Light Clash. I think Brad Keselowski is the next underdog pick that you need to keep your eyes on for this weekend. And now we're going to go ahead and jump onto the winner's pick for this weekend's Busch Light Clash at the LA Coliseum. Who is my winner's pick? I've had a toss-up between this one because there's 3 or 4 guys I was really thinking about who I think could win this event. I think it's someone who's really good at a short track is going to contend. I also think drivers are really fast last year at the 750 horsepower package races. Those are the guys that I think are going to be very, very fast. Now, like I mentioned, this is going to be technically the first race with the next-gen cars. So, what do I expect in regards and who do I think is going to win this Busch Light Clash race? My winner's pick is going to be the driver of the 9 for Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott. I think it's very fitting that Chase Elliott would kick off the season by winning. Chase Elliott is the most popular driver, and of course, I think it would be really cool to see him pick up the win at the LA Coliseum. But I also have stats to back this up. Chase Elliott has been very, very fast at short tracks like Bristol and Martinsville, and those tracks are very similar to the LA Coliseum. Of course, LA Coliseum is much different than any other short track, but I think that Chase Elliott is going to be very, very fast, and I think on Sunday he is going to cross the start-finish line, and I think he is going to be your overall winner for this year's Busch Light Clash. And now let's jump into the ones that you need to watch out for this weekend's Busch Light Clash. The first driver I think you're going to need to keep your eyes on is going to be Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, of course, is the only one locked into the main regardless. Kyle Larson is somewhat an interesting pick because, again, he's one of the early favorites on the DFS of picks for the draft. But I think that Kyle Larson is someone that I think is going to be very, very fast this weekend. I think especially when it comes to being put more back into the driver's hands, Kyle Larson is arguably the best. And I think he's going to be a top 5 contender. Like I said, I don't think he's going to win the event, but I think that he is going to be someone that's going to be fast this weekend. I think he'll be up front, and I think he will have a good chance to secure a victory and start off the season. The second driver I think you're going to need to keep your eyes on is going to be Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is very, very fast in short tracks. Denny Hamlin's arguably one of the best short track racers on the circuit, has historically been really, really fast in Martinsville, and has been very, very fast at tracks like Bristol and Richmond as well. And the Joe Gibbs cars tend to show a lot of speed, especially on short tracks. Denny Hamlin last year didn't get a victory on a short track, but like I mentioned, he was very, very fast on short tracks early this year. So I think that Denny Hamlin will absolutely be a threat to win this weekend. I think he's going to have a lot of pace, and I think he's going to have a lot of speed as well this weekend. Keep your eyes on Denny Hamlin. I think he could be a big threat to win this weekend Busch Light Clash. The third driver to keep your eyes on is going to be Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 car. Now, Martin Truex Jr. did mention to the media earlier which you'll see in a video later this week in the news video, he has never raced on a quarter-mile track, so he could be at a little bit of disadvantage. That being said, though, I do think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to be very, very fast. I think he's going to show a lot of pace, and I think he's going to show a lot of speed as well. I think he will be a threat to Chase Elliott. I think he'll be his biggest threat just because I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to have a really, really fast car. So Martin Truex Jr. is my third driver. And my final driver that I think is going to be one to keep an eye out for in this weekend's Busch Light Clash, I think it's going to be Kirk Bush. Now, this one's going to be a little bit bold considering Kirk Bush is moving to a new team with 2311 Racing. That being said, though, I do believe that Kirk Bush is going to be a very, very fast candidate, and I think he's going to be really, really good in this 45 car. It does not matter what car Kirk Bush has gotten into. Kirk Bush has been very, very fast from the get-go. He took the one car from Chip Ganassi Racing, which was a 20th to 25th place car, and he took that car out to basically end up winning the race. So I think contended for victories and got a victory at Kentucky. So I think that Kirk Bush is going to be very successful from the get-go and from the hands, and he's also, not to mention, a really, really good short track racer as well. So I think that's going to come into play, and I think Kirk Bush will be the final driver to keep your eyes out for this weekend. I'm definitely very, very excited for the Clash. I'm just really, really, really excited to get the season underway. So many new things, so many drivers in new places, so much new tracks as well, like Coliseum and Gateway, among many other things. And of course, this weekend is so much different than any other event. You've got DJ Ski during the cautions, Pitbull during the pre-race, and of course, you have Ice Cube during a halftime show. Like I said, there will be a halftime show, and caution laps are not going to count as well. Everyone should be really, really excited. I think that this could be a very, very exciting event to kick off the year. So, anyway, that is for today's race picks video from the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notification on to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. Who is your picks to win this weekend here at the LA Coliseum? You put down your suck pick, put down your underdog pick, and put down your winner's pick. And whoever comments in, I will have them tallied up, and at the end of the season, I will score you. That's how the points format is going to work. If you pick the winner of the race in the comments, you will get a point. If you pick the guy closest to him, you'll get a point or so. I think it's going to be, I'm not sure I'm going to base the points off, but I'll probably give 2 or 3 points to the winner, and whoever has the most points by the end of the year will be it. I'm not involved in that, but you guys are going to be involved in the picks count as well. So that's how picks are going to work this year, and I will probably put a little more details on that. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content. Tomorrow I'll have that news video that's supposed to go up today. Unfortunately, what happened was the internet was really, really slow. So that will be up very, very soon. I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.